Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am wearing a lot more clothes than what I am in my vlog. That's because I am back in Melbourne and have been for quite some time. This vlog is actually from last year in August. I wasn't going to upload it as it took me a while to edit. After editing it, I actually lost all the footage, so I sort of gave up. But I got it back now, so I've decided to use it as I did spend a lot of time editing it as it was my first time. But I put a poll on my Instagram and you guys have asked me to share it. So I have decided to make it a little bit more interesting that I'll do a Q&A included, as this vlog is just a whole heap of drinking, partying and exploring Bali for the first time. So I will grab my phone and I'll start answering some of the questions that you guys wanted to know. Your travel, any advice? Now, I'm probably the worst person to give this sort of advice. I've been out of Australia twice. This was my second time. I actually use Flight Centre to book my flights as I'm not very good with Skyscanner and all of those cheap flight booking places or whatever you call them. Obviously I should probably work on that as I do want to start traveling more. But yes, I booked through Flight Centre. All I booked through them was my flight and my first night accommodation. Now I would not recommend booking any more accommodation through them as it is so much more expensive than when you get over there. The only reason I booked the first one was because we were arriving in Kuta quite late at night. And from what I'd heard about Kuta, I did not think it would be a great idea trying to find my way from the airport to a hotel late at night. So we decided to book through Flight Centre. So they gave us a transfer straight to our hotel that we stayed at for 2 nights actually, but we booked the second night through them. And it was so much cheaper than what we paid through Flight Centre. So I do not recommend booking anything through Flight Centre other than maybe your flights if you get them on sale, and I still don't even really recommend that, to be honest. The other thing that we had trouble with over there was the authorities. So the police over there are quite different to over here. I don't exactly know how to put that and how much I can really say. I will share a few of my experiences. There is another question where that will sort of come into it a little bit more. But yeah, I organised most of my stuff through Flight Centre, as I said, and then I just literally did the rest over there and winged it. And it was my second time overseas. I'd never been to Bali before, and let me tell you, I am the biggest stress head ever, and I managed to get through it, so I'm sure you can too. Alright, so the next question is, why did you decide to go to that place? I love the photos of Bali. The reason I decided to go to Bali was because I had no money. I knew it was cheap. One of my friends was over there. My boyfriend had never been either. They have almost everything over there, so it was just a really good travel destination for us to go to, as we sort of wanted to rough it a little bit. We wanted to see nature, we wanted to do some cultural stuff. There's basically absolutely everything over there. I mean, I will say I did get the shock of my life, and it was not what you see on Instagram. Yeah, all the beautiful photos and stuff are definitely very well planned out. Bali is an amazing place. Next question is, safety tips for female travelers and any hidden gems in Bali to explore. I'm going in May. I traveled the whole time with my boyfriend. I've never been overseas by myself. I do have a heap of friends that are very well travelled, female friends that do travel by themselves, and honestly they don't have that many issues. But yeah, I could not give you any advice because I have never travelled alone. I've been with my boyfriend for 8 years, since I was 16, so let's just put it that way. I haven't done much at all alone. Well, it's not a question, but inviting you to come to Malaysia. Yes, I would love to come to Malaysia one day. I do need to save a little bit more. I think my next trip will definitely be to either Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, or I am hoping to tie them all into a little trip all together. Is there anything you regret not doing on your trip? Yes, there is. So after the first week in Bali, I actually got a little bit unwell. Now usually everybody gets Bali belly. Mine was my hormones. So what I am upset about is the fact that I didn't check out all the temples during the first week. However, I was not to know that my hormones were going to be messed up, and I ended up getting my period for the rest of the time that I was there. Now, as you may or may not be aware, some of the temples you can't go to when it is your time of the month. It can be disrespectful. I'm not exactly educated on this topic the best. I would suggest doing your own research. All I know is it can be quite disrespectful, and you can end up with you know, spirits and so forth attached to you, and I am a very strong believer in that sort of stuff. And I do believe the stronger you believe, like, the more chance it's going to happen to you. So there was not a chance I was going to any of the temples or anything once I started bleeding. So I'm just really upset with myself that I didn't get to do a lot of the cultural side, but I am happy with the fact that I, you know, respected the culture and I didn't just go like some people. But I can't be too hard on myself because I wasn't to know that I was gonna bleed for 3 weeks. Sorry for putting it that way. The next question I have is Bali or Thailand. I've never been to Thailand. As I said just before, I'd love to go. Leave in the comments though, well, whether you prefer Bali or Thailand more, because I am super interested. And by the way, I need to get a new filming spot. I'm literally just sitting at my front door on the tiles. Okay, so what was your favorite part of the whole holiday and where was your favorite place? That's an easy one. My favorite place was definitely Ubud. My favorite part of my holiday was meeting new friends. Now, I wouldn't say it was necessarily a holiday. I was in Bali for a month. I was planning to stay there, I think it was for 2.5, 3 weeks, but I ended up getting an ear infection and I wasn't able to fly. So let's just say I wasn't holidaying, doing things absolutely every single day. But yeah, sorry, back on the topic of my favorite part, it was definitely building lifelong friendships with people that I'll never forget. I had a lot of life-changing experiences and people that really opened me up to things that, you know, may have taken a much longer time, if not a lifetime, or, you know, some of the things I may never have learned. Sometimes they're pretty rough for me though. I was quite upset a lot of the trip. My idea for going to Bali was to sort of run away from all my problems. Let me tell you, it did not work and I was literally thrown in the deep end. So it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows for me. It was an up and down roller coaster. So the next question is, do you regret getting your small tattoo done there? No way. There's no way I'd regret that. That was the most craziest night of my life. I caught up with an old friend and his new girlfriend. So me, my boyfriend, him and his girlfriend, we went out and we got super drunk. And that ended up with meeting some random guys in a bar who took us back to what we thought was their tattoo parlor. And we all got matching tattoos and not one of them looked the same. And then the dude that actually owned the tattoo shop walked in on some random guy tattooing us and said, "Hey bro, what are you doing tattooing in my tattoo shop?" So it wasn't even his shop, it was actually his friend's shop. It's kind of funny. I mean, I would not recommend, but yeah, now I've got this little bad boy for life. It's actually awful, like it's totally ridiculous. But yeah, 4 of us have got it, so we're all in this together, and no, I don't regret it. I don't really regret anything in life, as crazy as that is. If you were in Lombok, what should you do there? Or were you in Lombok or the Gili Islands too? Now, when I went to Bali, that was when all the issues were going on over there, in both Lombok and Gili Islands, so it was the safest option for us not to go there. I would love to check out both the Gili Islands and Lombok next time I'm over there. But I guess the fact that there were sort of natural disasters going on, which is really awful. You know, now when I go back to Bali, there's places that I haven't seen, I guess. It'll be really interesting to see sort of how far they've come and if there's anything, you know, I could do to help or whatever. But at the time that I was over there, it was in the midst of it all and I wanted to go over there and help, but it was not safe for me at all, so I chose not to. Next question, what would you recommend the most in Bali? I would say Ubud if you're anything like myself. I spent majority of my time there. I went to many other places and every time I had any issues, felt uneasy, my mental health was playing up, I'd always get back to Ubud. Stop. I'd always find myself going back there to stay for a few days and ground myself and get back to sort of where I felt I belonged. Sort of where I felt I, not belonged, but like where I felt most at home, you could say. I met a lot of beautiful people in Ubud too, which is probably sort of why I felt it to be such a safe zone. I also felt the energy there was crazy. Like I remember leaving Seminyak one day, driving down the road on the back of the bike with my boyfriend, and I literally made a comment like, I feel like I've just had the most craziest drug in the world. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I've never felt something like this feeling that I'm experiencing right now. And it was after being in Seminyak for a few days and a few things being stolen, and I just felt so helpless, and I just wanted to get home, and I didn't have enough money to get home or anything. So we decided to get on a bike and head to Ubud, and that feeling I got as we like pulled into the main strip of Ubud was just absolutely unexplainable. And a lot of you are going to think I'm absolutely stupid for saying this, but I don't really care. It was like, it was a feeling that no drug or absolutely no substance could provide, and it showed me that energy is real, because that was something I've never felt before, and I don't know if I'll ever feel again. And actually, yes, I will feel that again. I'll definitely feel that again, and that's why I want to keep traveling. It's at the edge of our fingertips. And you guys say I live the most craziest life. I don't. I've been overseas twice. Like, I haven't even hit the surface of this world. I'm still learning, and I want to learn with you guys. But my camera's gonna die now, so I'll be back soon. The question is, what tips do you have on long-term travel advice? Now, I hate to break it to you, but I haven't been overseas for longer than a month, so I don't really have any advice on what to take for long-term travel. I have done long-term travel in Australia, but I feel like that's a little bit different because I've always had my van and absolutely everything I need plus more in it. When we take off in the van this time, I plan on taking a lot less, so hopefully I can make a video or something to show you what I take on my van journeys. But a trip overseas won't be happening for a little bit. But when I do that, and I plan to go over there for quite some time, I will make a video of what I bring. But obviously I'm not very educated on the topic, and we'll have to learn through that together. Would I travel to Bali again? Yes, I definitely will travel to Bali again. I was thinking that I wanted to go somewhere else first, but a few of my friends are heading over late April, so who knows, I'll probably get FOMO and head over there with them. Where did I stay? I stayed in so many different places. I stayed in Kuta, I stayed in Legiana, I stayed in Seminyak, I stayed in Ubud, I stayed in Tabernan. I stayed in like plenty of different places. I'd definitely say Ubud was my favorite and Kuta was my least favorite. I will say that Kuta was freaking amazing for getting drunk during the day. There's always something going on. But yeah, it was definitely my least favorite. There's so many idiots around. But I guess there's idiots everywhere, so who am I to say? Did you get in any trouble with the police? So yes, we got in trouble a couple times with police actually. That was always fun. So one of the times was on the bikes. We got pulled over with no international license. Oops. We got let off. We didn't have to pay any money or anything. Another time, Brad didn't have his helmet on. Idiot. We got pulled over, held in a police station for like 3 hours. I was literally like crying the whole time. This was after all the stuff happened with my old work, so I was just like feeling really like overwhelmed by being in a tiny room with all these grown men. It was so bad. But anyway, they actually felt bad and let us go with no trouble, so that was cool. Another night we were out riding with our mates and they let us go. As we said, we'd already been in trouble. But they took our mate for a little bit, but they ended up letting him go as well without paying anything. So yeah, just be aware that the police are pretty corrupt over there. Maybe not all, but I will say a lot are. But I did speak to a couple of them, and I have a little bit more of an understanding as to why they are trying to make money. Yeah, so once you find out how much they actually pay each year to be a police officer and how much they get paid, it makes so much sense as to why they're so corrupt. Shell-shocked, and that's all I've got to say about that. Oh sorry, one other thing, we had to actually pay to make a stat deck after we had items be stolen. Where do you need to do that? I mean, I haven't traveled much, so I don't know, it could happen everywhere, but I was shocked. We had to actually pay money to have a police sign a stat deck saying that our laptop was stolen. Crazy. So yeah, I'll leave that at that. I think that's enough questions to answer for you guys. I will answer the rest of the ones that weren't about Bali in the Q&A that's actually about me, but this one I wanted to sort of try and base on my whole Bali trip. Thanks guys!
our hotel for our first night in Bali. As you can see, it's nothing too special. I mean, that makes us special.
We take advantage of the room service and we got a whole bunch of food delivered. Is it nice?
That we should go across the shop and grab a few more for $1.50 each.
Totally. I didn't tease you before I drank either. So every time we're bored, I feel like we're just eating. We're gonna come back fat as hell.
Thank you.
Hygienic. Skull, 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 skull.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Skull, 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 skull. You can finish it, you can finish it, you can finish it, you can finish it, you can finish it. You can finish it, you can finish it. Come on, come on, focus, focus. Yes. And that.
Had no sleep. Now we're at Strawberry Field. And where are we? Seven, getting a side. And then I think we're going to go down to Ulatu or Tanalot. Tanalot. And then I think I need a good sleep because I am so...
Good acai. Best you've ever had?
Best I've ever had. Yeah, put in your bag. Ready to go?
Check this guy out. Looks so cool.
You kids had all the tips.
So we decided to stay at the resort for one more night. So we thought we'd indulge in some service. That's gone now.
Quality vegetarian pasta.
And tomorrow we're gonna get up early and head to Ubud.
Making herself look pretty. You excited to see monkeys?
Yes. Probably the thing I'm most excited for. But once I see them, I'm gonna be excited for other things.
What about if I'm bite ya?
Well. At the monkey forest, and it's a lot more than what I expected. There's a lot of tourists, but fortunately we've got to do it because I freaking love monkeys. And that's how we get more monkeys.
What a view.
I am seriously in love with this place. So we're just at the rice terraces, getting a cocktail. Pretty excited.
It's happy hour, so that's always good.
2 for 1. I can't even do the 1. Heat stroke. No, that's just an excuse, I think. So, like, do you walk all around, or like?
I don't know.
Because it seems huge.
Am I still in your Wi-Fi?
Yep. Yeah, just try and count
We're
slowly.
just counting money.
You can do it. I'm not very good at it yet. I'm still learning. You too. Where you going? Goodbye, chicken.
Over there, yeah, maybe on the left side,
Yeah.
maybe 100 meters.
Thank you.
Thank you. They're pretty cool. Just going to the ATM so we can go back down to the rice terraces. Cool, is it? I think they're having more fun than you.
I think so too.
Yeah, why not? This is Bali. Bali Paradise. Bali Paradise and the Swing Paradise. Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna keep it. What were you filming? I look like such a cheapskate picking up
So
there.
we just went to the Legend Cafe in Ubud and got quite a really good meal.
My YouTube's gonna get angry at me if you do all the talking. I'm
I'll just
too
make my own channel.
Alright.
Oh, holes in the ground. Look out for them. Now we're gonna go try to find, I don't know, maybe like a bar or something
Live
with some
music.
backpack. Bad word to say about Ubud yet, except for the holes in the ground. They're a bit of a health and safety issue.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Oh.
To a nice cheap place yesterday, so we'll go back and get the acai bowl because they were so lovely. And then we're gonna go to a waterfall. Thank you. Yeah.
For Just a sec.
I need to throw. No,
That's okay.
Wow.
Oh,
That
wow.
is amazing. Yeah, so pretty.
I'm going to finish up this vlog here. Sorry I didn't speak much in it. This was last year. I was just getting used to the camera. I was also in a pretty dark spot in my head. I'm feeling a lot better now, as you can probably tell. The next video will either be a Q&A or it will be my van makeover, which is pretty exciting. I can't wait to show you guys. Subscribe if you are interested in my stuff, obviously. And yeah, let me know anything I can improve on. The hand gestures aren't going to stop, so please don't advise me to work on those. Thanks guys, love you all.